What's up, guys? Feats here again. Thank you guys for giving me this platform to kind of share my stories with you. Obviously, you hear more of the comedic side of me in the first podcast and trying to, show you guys the ropes of what I want this podcast to be. But I also did mention that there are some serious things going on, especially for people in their 20s. Extra stressors, obviously, for people in college, grades. College athletes have the extra stressors with coaches, obviously the schedule and the strenuous activities that go along with sports. And that is just the tip of the iceberg for college students in general. Obviously, people in fraternities and sororities have the same type of commitments. People that do neither of those things also work on the side and have other clubs and things that they do that are obviously time-consuming and add extra stress to your life. But having it be Suicide Awareness Week, I just kind of wanted to touch on the conversation that needs to be had. And obviously the saying is break the stigma. I kind of want to twist that and change it to have the conversation. And obviously that's something that's shared with Bell Let's Talk, a more Canadian and kind of hockey-oriented movement, especially when it comes to mental health. But no one's too big for mental health issues. There's no one that's too strong. There's no one that's too willing. It doesn't mean you're weak. It doesn't mean you're soft. It means that you just have things going on. Life's a big place, and that's kind of why I created this podcast. I don't want anyone to feel like they're being swallowed up by the world. I want to give the relatability of having people that are going through the same struggles as you, whether they're college athletes, professional athletes, celebrities, entrepreneurs. People of our age need to unite, especially during this time, and not be afraid to feel vulnerable. Even if it's a conversation, there's two sides to it, obviously. Have that conversation with yourself. If you're struggling, you need to at least owe yourself that favor and your friends to realize, hey, I might need help. I might need to talk to somebody. And that's kind of where I want to kind of share my story, where I thought I was too happy, had too much going for me. On the surface, it looks like I have it great, and I feel like a lot of people feel that way about themselves, and that they wouldn't be affected by mental health, anxiety, depression. But sometimes the world can beat you down. Like my experience, so basically just with college sports, something I love to do, something I've always loved is just competing. And I had lost that competitive nature in myself. I felt that I had lost my drive. I felt that there was just something off, and I had that unfulfilling feeling, and it was just so hard because you can't just go find fulfillment. It's such a weird concept, but I didn't realize I had something going on until I had the conversation and I shared with my friends and someone that I was just like, and thankfully my friends realized I was off and they had the conversation with me, which is the other side of things I wanted to share with you, where if you feel like you got a buddy or a friend, even if you don't think they're off, just communicate. Don't be afraid to feel vulnerable. Ask that question, smile at a stranger, do something that is productive to somebody's day. Even though I'm on a sports team, I understand, especially like coming from a hockey lacrosse background, there's more shit talk in that nature than anything that I've ever heard of. But at the same time, you have to realize that there's two sides to it. Yeah, I shit talk my friends, I'll do it as long as the day is, but I'm also gonna be the first person to text them when I think something's up. And I always check in on my boys, girls included. There's always a constant comparison, and that's something that's prevalent, obviously, on Instagram and those type of platforms. It's more stereotyped that girls have those comparison issues and body issues, which are not downplaying that at all. It's very important and something to address. But also when it comes to college athletics, there's been a little bit more of exposure to those things as well. And obviously in the male side of things, there's the competitive nature of men. You don't want to feel like you're subpar. You don't want to feel like that you're soft or those type of things that I addressed earlier. So long story short, I want to open up the floor to those conversations, to feel vulnerable, to tell your friends how you feel about them, to make that extra call when you think about somebody. Don't be afraid to reach out and share how you feel about somebody. And that can be obviously a positive thing, and you don't want to have those words be left unsaid. And to kind of share my background with that, obviously, I had a friend in youth hockey that was battling that, and I was able to, and he said, hey man, don't tell anybody. Obviously, you want to respect their wishes, but at the same time, they'll never be mad at you for getting them help, because that is having their best interest in mind. And that's something that I was very grateful to learn through the TTU program at Queens, run by Melinda Harper, who actually puts that into more of a positive light, that there are people out there that are professionals at helping people through these things. And the only way they can get that help is to start the initial conversation and not feel like it's a vice. Understand that it's gonna happen. It will happen to you. You will be down, and you just have to understand that it can happen, and you just have to know how to obviously understand that you're going through things, because that's what hurts, especially people in their 20s. We're able to drink, we're able to go out, we're able to cover ourselves with these social things, drugs, to numb the pain. And sometimes it gets so far down the road that the road to recovery is much harder than it should have been. And that's something I wanted to reach out for. And obviously, if this reaches one person, great. If there's a few people that reply, even better. But this is something I did in the summer on my private story, where I shared how I was feeling down, depressed, starting to develop anxiety, and people were kind of blown away that someone that looks like they're always out in the middle of the party, the guy that is always, out and having a good time on the surface, but really it's something that I was coping with, and I didn't come to reality with myself for a long time. And I still have times where I'm down sitting by myself and I'm not feeling fulfilled, but at the same time I realize that, and I have the tools now to understand what I'm going through along with other people and what they're going through. So just don't leave the conversation unsaid. You never know if you're gonna help somebody, and trust me, I can speak from personal experience. Reaching out to somebody and know it might not resonate at the time, and they might not give you the reciprocation that you desire, but I promise you that down the road they will thank you, and I can firsthand promise you that they will thank you, and that there's no feeling better than knowing you helped someone that you care about. And even better, knowing that you put that good energy out there, and knowing that what you said could have helped somebody is just as good of a feeling, even if you don't get that satisfaction back. So I just wanted to at least touch on that, and to put more concrete examples to it. As a freshman at my university, we had to attend a funeral of an alumni that happened to commit suicide, someone that I had met once or twice, and seeing him, had a lovely girlfriend and was just a very jolly guy, loved by his friends, but he was dealing with the demons, and he didn't feel like he didn't share what he needed to share. And that's just something that I've seen affect people, and not only the people that suffer with the actual depression or those suicidal thoughts, the people that are also left behind. So I just want to kind of use this platform as a candid example of being able to reach out to your friends and being there for the people you care about, and not feeling bigger than the issue at hand. So thank you guys.